Morning, everyone. This is Rajendran here, joining from Marketcalls, and welcome everyone to live trading room on Market Profile and Orderflow. Especially, we are going to look into the RBI policy announcements. So, before the RBI policy announcement, what are the nuances which is present, and what is the confidence which is going on, and what are the information which we can read from Market Profile? What are the information which we can read from Orderflow kind of stuff? That's what we are going to look into in today's session. And around 11:45 is the RBI announcement policy is about to get announced. And today we are going to mostly look into the profile of Nifty and Bank Nifty. We're going to look into the market profile. We'll look into the order flow. We're going to look into the top-down analysis, and if required, we're going to look into the volume profile analysis as well. So we're going to prepare for the trade or what kind of opportunity is present. So we'll be starting up with top-down analysis, and then we'll be moving on to live markets using market profile and order flow, and especially on an event trading, right? Or how to monitor and what kind of players come into the game and how to attempt today's markets. That's what we're going to look into it, right? A standard disclaimer here. So whatever we are talking about is mostly the market generated information. Don't take it as a trading information, right? We are not here to provide trading information. It's more of an educational it's more of an educational event. What we are happening here is, so accordingly make sure that you are here to learn, right? Not to take the information to trade. So today's agenda, we'll be preparing for the day using top-down analysis. First, we'll be starting with monthly time frame in Nifty futures, and then followed by that we'll look into weekly time frame, and then followed by that we'll look into the daily time frame. And if it requires, we even look into the lower time frames as well. And we'll be reading the opening confidence. The opening confidence, I'll be explaining how to read the today's opening confidence, and volume flow. What is the flow of the volume which is happening in the order flow? Are there any key nuances which is spotted over there? And what are the trading confidence during middle of the day? Of course, 11:45 is what the RBI announcement is supposed to get announced. By that time, what are the nuances is going to present? So who competed prior to that, and after that, what is happening, and why that specific move is happening? That is what here to explain. So the tool used in today's section, I'm going to use NinjaTrader 8 platform. On top of that, I had connected with the e-signal data feed for NSE F&O markets. And I'm going to use Bell TPO indicators, right? Bell TPO indicators, I had access to Bell Market Profile Ultimate and Bell Order Flow Ultimate on a NinjaTrader 8 platform. And side by side, I'm also going to use AmiBroker version 6.0. So AmiBroker, if you understand, both AmiBroker and NinjaTrader are advanced charting platforms, whereas NinjaTrader 8 is connected to e-signal and AmiBroker is connected to global data feeds. So I'm simultaneously using two data feeds for the day. And here is a small promo here. There is an upcoming mentorship program, and this mentorship program will be running for 1 month on market profile and order flow. It's a complete in-depth analysis for the people who want to learn market profile and order flow, especially who want to enhance their market understanding in a better way. So there is a small promo offer code here. So it's a 10% offer code, TXFWS. You can use it to subscribe to TradeZilla 2.0 program. It comes with 60 plus hours of live learnings on market profile and order flow, right? And 40 plus intraday and positional trade setups. And on top of that, there will be a live training session. Every day we'll be spending 1 hour or 1.5 hours every other day. And we'll be learning about how to read these markets, right? Using market profile and order flow, and how to spot trading opportunities using market profile and order flow. That's what we are going to look into in today's, that's what we look into the TradeZilla 2.0. So TradeZilla 2.0 is mostly for the traders, especially for the traders who want to become a full-time trader, or especially for the active traders who's already actively trading in the markets for quite some time. So who want to get more edge on market profile and order flow perspective. It's mostly for scalpers, for intraday players, and very, very short-term trading activity, right? And this mentorship program will be completely recorded, and the entire access will be available to all the TradeZilla participants for the next 1 year. And here is the link here. It starts from 6th July to 4th August. It's a complete 1 month program. It will be continuously running day in, day out. Weekends we'll be dealing with webinars, and weekdays we'll be practicing what we spoken in the webinars, right? And on top of that, people will get access to our community, a Slack community. It's a private trading community where people hang out and we talk day in, day out about market profile and order flow kind of stuff. So if you have any queries, there is our portal out there. So our customer support team, they'll be helping you to onboard to the TradeZilla 2.0 program, right? So let me quickly get into the top-down analysis of Nifty and Bank Nifty. So I'm going to use Nifty future. I'm going to start with Nifty future. So I'm going to go to new blank chart. Let me pull up a price chart over here, a simple price chart. I'm going to start with monthly. So monthly is clearly trending up so far, and but then this is a broader balance which one can talk about it. Let me move to bar charts. Okay. So this is a bar chart. This is a balance level which was running for almost 2,000 points, 2,000 point range. The 2,000 point range is continuously running for more than how many months? Almost 1.5 years. 1.5 years we are in a 2,000 point range, right? That means the investors are seeing a broader level sideways markets. Nothing is happening for the investor perspective, right? So more or less we are keep on moving back and forth in a approximately an 18 or 17% range in the last 2 years, and nothing was happening for them. And now price just looked above this balance, and it's still trading above this balance. That the top of the balance comes very close to this level. If you ask me, what is the top of the balance? This is the level. One can say that level comes on 11,859, right? So 11,859 is the top of the balance. There was a little bit of breakout, but it's still struggling around there, around 12,000 reference levels. And let's come to the monthly. From the monthly, we'll move to weekly. So monthly, the trend is clearly up. It's just keep on moving up in one direction. The monthly time frame is up, but at the same time, you also understand that price is trading slightly above the balance on the monthly scale. And come to the weekly. So weekly, what happened? Weekly, it took 2-week high. You see that it took 2-week high, and then it got back into this reference. It took 2-week high, and then it got back into the reference. It got back into this range. There is a 2-day failed breakout is there. 2-day failed breakout on the weekly, but still, if you look into the weekly overall, it's one time framing up continuously. Weekly also trending up, but at the same time, we got 2-week failed breakout. And now let's come into the daily. Daily, you might be seeing a different picture. Daily price was there was a bigger outside bar, right? So bigger high volatile bar, followed by that last 2 days, price is still trading in that band. Price is trading in this range. So if you ask me, it's kind of a sideways activity, and moreover, nothing much is happening out there on the daily. So if you summarize, I can say monthly is trending. Monthly is trending in Nifty futures. Nifty futures monthly is trending and trading above the balance, trading above the broader balance. Broader balance, that is 11,850 levels, right? And next comes the weekly. When looking at the weekly, weekly is also trending up, but at the same time there was a failed breakout, 2-week failed breakout. So 2-week failed breakout is seen, and when it comes to daily what we are seeing here, daily is balancing, right? Balancing within the last 2-day back range, it's balancing in that band. So far, there is no serious breakthrough. There is no serious breakdown as well on either side. So that's the scenario right now we are in. But if you look into the 30-minute time frame chart, you might see something surprising there. Okay, this is a 30-minute time frame chart. Let me tell you what is happening out there. Something interesting happening out there. So what is happening here is that kind of an this is a broader balance. This is the election day balance here, which is running for more than quite some time. Okay, look closely here. What happened here is that there is a kind of a look above the balance and fail. There is a what? Look above the balance and fail. So price looked above this balance and it started coming back into this range, which is not a good scenario, right? So this have a positional odds of price moving towards 11,900 or even towards the 11,600 levels. This setup is not a good setup, right? This is kind of a look above the balance. And think about it. So far, the price is trading in this election result range. This is the election result range. This is the election day. This is the range it went on. And still, the entire price is trading in that range. That means right from May 24th onwards, nothing happened. Price is still trading in that high-low range. Still, neither it tried to break up, but then it ends in a failure. And then so far, it's showing weakness still, right? Which is not a good sign for the longs. Especially for the longs, it is not a good sign. So this information you have to aware about it, and this information, think about that. This balance, this entire balance is almost 400 points wide. How many points? Almost 400 plus points wide. 400 points plus wide, and it is running for how many days? It is running from May 20 to how much? This is May 24, and then still it is running till 6th of July. 6th of July. Right? So I mean 6th of June. 6th of June. So that means approximately 16 days, or maybe 14 trading days. Approximately 14 trading days. Days. This balance is going on, right? So that means nothing much happened from a broader scale perspective. So maybe the entire band might be filled with short-term players. Short-term players here, short-term players here, probably short-term players in this band, and short-term players in this band. So if more and more short-term player presence is there, and if there is a serious buyers are not shown, typically the short-term players might liquidate, right? So that is what we say, like a look above the balance and fail. Look above the balance and fail. And fail and target destination should be immediate targets will be through the center of the zone. Probably the center of the zone comes around over here. I'm not saying that immediately it should happen. It may or it may not be, but it can. This is more of a positional reference, right? So don't think that it is an intraday market will happen and then market will go to 11,600. It may be or it may not be, but that is very, very rare scenario. But most of the times, from a positional perspective, the immediate destination target goes towards the 11,850 levels. 11,850 levels, because that's the center of the band, and that is where the setups happened over here. The stops over here, the stops over here. So many stops might be coming around 11,850 levels, and breaking down below that, the next destination will be the election result low. So here is the election result low. So this is election low. This is election results low. Election results low, and this low is nothing but the exit poll low. Exit poll low. And there is a weekly gap also there. This is a weekly gap out there. It's a weekly gap. There is a weekly gap out there. So these are the 3 points one have to monitor on the downside. If there is any downside, it could be a slow downside. First 11,850 on the downside, which is followed by the second one is 11,600 levels, which is nothing but the exit poll low, and the other low is the close of this gap that comes around 11,420 levels. All these are positional reference. Nothing is an intraday reference out there. Aware about it. That means we don't look on intraday basis. All these are positional reference. When the price is coming and breaking 11,850 levels, if at all the price is coming and breaking 11,850 levels, then one should be thinking about the next reference immediately. If the confidence is very high, then it could have the capability to go towards the 11,600 levels. And if that breaking confidence is very good, the next destination is towards 11,420 levels. So these are the primary information we looked into it. we are also looking into this look above the balance and fail, right? So I already discussed in my Slack portal. So if you already part of the Slack portal, you understand what I talked on the last Friday. So on the last Friday, we talked about where exactly. So let me open my Slack portal, Marketcalls. If you're very new to Slack, it's marketcalls.slack.com. It is access privilege. It's a lifetime access privilege given to all the workshop participants, and especially for the players who want to learn market profile, order flow, and dynamic broker. So just give me a second. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to market profile. So this is a topic which we talked about it last Friday. So last Friday we talked about so it's one time framing down, look about it is so far it's a look above the balance and fail, right? Using dynamic volume profile, I talked about it. Probably I said that the next destination target is towards 11,900 levels. That's what we talked about it. This is on last Friday, June 4th, and my comment was 11,900 should be the primary target. So that's an opinion we taken around 12,067 by looking to this look above the balance and fail. We spotted that there is no serious buyers out there when they are taking up the bigger the election high when the election high has been taken out, the lack of serious buyers is not seen on that day. So lack of serious buyers means it is kind of a mean reversion stuff. So it's mostly an mean reversion game, which is most likely a plunge towards 11,900, which is what we are looking in a very short-term perspective. And not necessarily it has to be intraday. It may be or it may be not, but so far it is showing weakness, and price almost came down 80 points from that level. And think about it. Now let's quickly look into the market profile charts. Let me pull up market profile charts here. Okay, so think about the low, price started balancing. Price took down the previous day low, right? So here is the previous day low. That's one of the reference which we are monitoring from today's perspective. So here is the low here. That is Friday low. So Friday low has been broken down, and the price started accepting lower, which is this is what we call it as a high market selling. I mean high seller confidence. When the seller confidence is very high, part of the game, a trader should not trade against the seller confidence. That's a key rule a trader has to follow from an intraday perspective, right? So it's showing very great confidence. The sellers are showing interest so far, and the point of control is building below the previous day low. So here is the previous day low, that is Friday low. So let me mark it out. Let me say that it's previous day low. Okay, previous day low. Look about it. It was happening like an open drive. So far, it is happening like an open drive, and so far, the sellers are in control. If the sellers are in control, right? If they are showing high confidence, what they do, they generally, when the price plunges down, they build a lower. The activity will be built lower. Point of control stays lower. More and more activity started coming in, right? So more and more activity started coming in, and that is a key signature that sellers are so far in control in the markets. And again, what are the other nuances? There's not much of a nuances out there. Maybe if at all there is any spike is coming in after market hours, right? So let's say the news event is supposed to release around 11:45, and that is taking a bullish view, and then it rockets down to PPOC. Then I'll be looking for an PPOC rejection out there. So I'll be mostly looking for an PPOC rejection out there. If at all any spike which is coming in all in a sudden, right? So we'll be looking for an short positions around PPOC level. That is one of the reference I'm thinking about at this point of time. And if you look into the volume flow, right, the volume flow is more of an, the volumes are very dull and boring, right? But price is trading lower. So it's an high confidence market, but still volumes are running dry, right? So the one have to aware about it. Volumes are running dry mostly till the event. They'll be balancing. So and then once the event is out, then market will go crazy. Volatility kick starts in. And at this point of time, what is happening here is that more and more reference are happening at this point of time, and it's created some sort of an poor lows. It got created something like a letter B, C. You see that letter B and C, it is just only 1 point away. A letter D and E is exactly same. So these are kind of weaker structures. So most likely it is a temporary buy, but eventually market will take on down this low, the B period low. It has the odds of taken down. Then market also trying to repair some of the anomalies here, 1, 2, and 3. Almost 3 anomalies got cleared. So 4 anomalies are here in this band. So it's kind of a poor structure out there. That is also taken out, right? So that is almost getting cleared. So most likely those poor structures are more or less likely to get cleared. And the other case, you see that the double distribution over here. So this is a double distribution balance as well. The double distribution balance is getting accepted. So for any positive sentiment, what has to happen is that if there is any reversal, sign, price has to stay above here, and more activity has to happen above that, and then price has to move above that. That is a good sign. That is a good signature, especially from an good long perspective, right? But then so far, price started trading down below this double distribution balance. It's a double distribution balance, right? So a distribution is followed by one more distribution. So that's why we call it as a double distribution balance. It's a double distribution balance and a poor structure on 3rd of June. So I'll call this as a DD balance. The DD balance supposed to act like a positional support. It was acting on Friday, but now the DD balance support has been broken at the open. The DD balance support has been broken at the open, and more trading activity started happening lower. So that is a sign of what? That is a sign of high confidence sellers. So I'm going to say that it's a high confidence sellers before entering into the RBI announcement policy. High confidence sellers since the open. Since the open, the opening confidence is pretty much higher. Despite all the global cues, we are trading negative. Okay, point of control is at this point of time it is 4 TPO wide. So one of the things as a trader has to practice that before coming into the events, don't try to carry forward any positions, especially if you're an intraday player. I'm not talking about positional players here. I'm talking about intraday players. So events are mostly binary. It's unpredictable. Right? At times there'll be a serious surprise. At times there won't be any no surprises. So if there are no surprises, what happens is that speculation happens on both the sides. When speculation happens on both the sides, generally the stop loss will be get built on both the sides. Maybe let's say in today's case, the stop loss on the buyers will be, most of the buyers would have been kept over here. Some buyers would have been kept over here. I mean, especially the sellers would have been kept on the upper side. Think about the buyers. Buyers would have been kept at the day low because day low is acting like a kind of a support. Or maybe they might be keeping at 2-day low. So they might be keeping their stop loss at multiple reference levels. So wherever they're going to keep, right? At times, what happens if there is no surprise in the market? Let's say the market, the news announcement is coming and there is no serious surprise, something like that. There is no 50 basis point cut or a 50 basis point increase in RR, right? So in such a case, and there is no surprises. Let's say RBI maintains status quo. Our RBI was expected to cut 25 basis point and they cut only 25 basis point. In such a case, market will be mostly doing a balanced activity. See that the point of control over here, price goes down, they'll come back, and goes up and they'll come back. So they primarily they will be attempting to hunt the stops on both the sides. But think about it, if there is any serious surprise announcement is coming in, then that is where we can see a directional opinion. Let's say RBI is cutting 50 basis point, which let's assume that nobody was anticipating in the street and that nobody's expecting that kind of surprise. Only in that case, the market might take an directional movement either on the downside or on the upper side. But most of the time, when RBI is going to maintain a status quo, market is going to do a balanced activity, kind of a wider balanced rotations. So wider balanced rotation, maybe something like this, a crazy balancing activity. And most of the time, they're going to center around the point of control. Price moves sharply down and then they sharply plunge back above, and then they'll be plunging back down again. All these things will be happening in a deeper fashion, unless the surprise event is supposed to come. And that's the surprise event. What happens? So confidence is continuously higher since the morning. So maybe they could continue on the downside furthermore. So that's what one can anticipate from the Nifty perspective. But the volume, if you look at the volume, only speculators are trading. Like look into the volumes here: 1,300 lots, 568 lots, 886 lots, 806 lots. So all these are less than 1,500 lots. So if it is less than 1,500 lots on every 5-minute time frame, then I say that only traders are playing this game before the event, right? So let's wait for the RBI announcement and try to understand what kind of announcement it is. Is it a surprise event? We are not bothered about whether the event is bullish, or we are not bothered about whether the event is bearish. We are going to take an unbiased opinion, and we're going to check how the activity is going to happen once the event is announced. And we're also going to check, are there any opportunities the market is presenting once the event is over? Think about it, I'm talking about once the event is over. Are there any intraday opportunity market is showing? Or if it is showing, then what is that opportunity? And what is that opportunity which is going to show up? That's what market might give an opportunity, or it may not give an opportunity. But the goal is to try to find how the market is reacting to the RBI event, how the volatility is kicks in, and on top of that, is the market is going to throw any puzzle, right, which says that a market kind of a predictability in that market movements. That's what we're going to look into it via market profile and order flow. Probably we use market profile to get the context, and probably order flow to time the events. So far nothing is happening, and I guess time is around 11:35, and 11:35 bar is running, and another 10 more minutes. I guess there will be RBI announcement. 11:45, right? Today's timing, the RBI announcement is supposed to be. Can anybody say what is the timing for the RBI announcement? 11:45. Okay, great. Another 14 minutes to go. So let's take a 5-minute break here, and let's come back around 11:40. So let's try to understand last 5 minutes how the volatility will be. So before 5 minutes onwards, the volatility kicks in, and so far the market is going in a sideways activity. But quickly, let's also look into the Bank Nifty activity. So Bank Nifty activity is mostly centered. Price took down the lows, and similar, there was a prominent point of control on last Friday. So maybe we can also still think about this similar price action going above this peacock and then rejecting. If any rejection, that could bring deeper corrections, or maybe if there is any surprise event, there could be a sharp dip followed by one more distribution and followed by one more distribution. So these are the two scenarios I'm thinking about for this day because of the high seller confidence. Usually the high seller confidence, usually they don't change. Before changing, they will be giving a lot of clues out there. Right, so let's think about it. At this point, are there any intraday opportunity? No, it is not. In the morning, there was one intraday opportunity in the form of a trapped buyer. In Nifty, it was there around B period low. So B period low, there was an trap buyer here. At the same time, there was an MR long here with a stop loss of 11,981, and still it is holding up. And one of the target levels was around this reference level here, 11,996. which has been done. It's a kind of a scalping odds. So this opportunity was a long scalping odds, but that's been already done. Not much of an opportunity. I would say that it's hardly an 10 points kind of opportunity. Nothing much, and still we are moving sideways, which is anticipated because before any major event, the volume usually runs dry. Right, the volume runs dry, and we don't know how the event is going to behave. But so far, the odds are pointing towards the weakness. If there is any change, as I said, the change should come above this reference, the double distribution balance, which happened on 3rd of June. Price accepting above that. I'm not saying that price goes above, it will keep on going bullish. Price has to accept above that, and it has to do more activity. Then only it will be accepted, then it can take a upside direction. If that is not happening, instead, let's say price goes up and then it rejected, that is a sign that we're going to see some downside odds. So this is one scenario. The other scenario is kind of a surprise event. Maybe there could be surprise rate cuts. In any case of surprise rate cut, market usually do a trend following, and there'll be a breakdown towards the downside. I'm expecting on the downside because even if there is any surprises in the rate cuts, so far the weakness is there. The weakness is going to continue. So maybe no matter whatever the surprise is, whether it's a positive surprise or a negative surprise, most likely the direction is most likely to be on the downside, because as per the pattern, what we are seeing on the 30-minute time frame, if you understand, it is a look above the balance and fail. It's kind of a look above the balance and fail, and that means the destination target is towards the middle of the zone, so around 11,900, and the second is towards the lower end of the balance. Maybe it could be around 11,600 or maybe around 11,638. That could be the final destination target as per this structure. If something has to change, as I said, the price has to start accept above the Friday high. Friday low. Friday low, and more activity has to happen above here. That means something like this. They accept above the Friday low, they do more activity, they slowly rise, and then they keep going up. That is what that is a change I'm talking about here. If that change is not happening, the scenario is continued to be on the bearish side. So let's wait. Hardly how many minutes left for the event? Volumes are so far running low. Market might not give any opportunity. Another 5 more minutes left. Let's see how this event is going to go up. So we're not here to decode whether the event is bullish or bearish, right? Regardless, whatever the event is there, what is the opportunity which is thrown before the event, and after the event, how the market players are reacting. That's the primary goal for the day. To know how the market players are behaving and how the opportunity is presented. Those are the two readings we are mostly interested in today's part. Let me bring a timer here. So let me quickly bring a timer. Just wait for a minute. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back here. So I guess not much of an activity so far. Another 5 minutes more to go. And so far the activity is balancing and not much of an activity, not much of an strong money yet. They shown their presence, but once the activity, once the event is out, I'm expecting volume to flow in, more and more bigger volumes to flow in once the activity is over, because more bigger money, they will come and play once the event is over, once the uncertainty is over. Okay, time is 11:38. So most likely another 6 more minutes to go. 11:39 now. Nothing much. It's so far it's balancing. So letter B, C, D is balancing. Point of control has been almost built for the day here. Either you're going to see a rotation, price rotation, or most likely we're going to go down. So that's the two odds. Primarily, I'm looking into it. Since the morning, we are seeing weakness. Usually, we don't see weakness at the opening itself, right? So at the opening itself, today we are seeing weakness. That is one point to remember. And value so far built lower. That's another important information one should carry forward. I'm also parallelly having one more PC where I'm just running a Bloomberg Quint and one more PC. It's in a silent mode as usual. But typically, I don't open any TV screens when I'm trading. But today it's a news event just to check whether the news has been announced and what was the result. To check out that, we are using the Bloomberg Quint. Right? So typically, Bloomberg Quint is the only platform where you get faster information. Other TV channels they are mostly delayed information by 1 minute or so, but Bloomberg Quint is more of an it's more or less real time. And I'm no way connected to Bloomberg Quint, by the way, and I'm just a user. Okay, the sideways action is still continuing. I just want to see whether the news is so. Another 4 more minutes to go. I guess it's balancing in Nifty. It's balancing in Bank Nifty. Look at the volumes when Bank Nifty also. Bank Nifty is also it's trading in a sideways direction. The volumes are very much weaker. At the same time, let me change the TPO here. Typically, I'll be using a 40-point TPO. Okay, so another 3 more minutes to go. So day low has been taken down, but not much of a news announcement yet. So bigger volume activity happened. Another 3 more minutes to go, right? So I said that the day low is weaker. So some stops would have been kept there at the day low. Probably some stops would have been triggered at the day low. Another 3 more minutes to go. Look at the volume at 1,262 lots. And how was the activity? They took the day low. Still, point of control is over here, right? It's always good to wait for the event to take a decision, especially from an intraday standpoint. I'm not talking about from a positional standpoint. Positionally, it is a sell which is continuing right from 12,080 onwards. But from an intraday perspective, I'm just checking, are there any visible clues out there? So another 2 more minutes to go. Most of the time, the events which are coming during market hours, right, especially RBI announcement or budget announcement, those days are not easy to trade because if they maintain the status quo, market will be crazily moving up and then crazily moving down. But end of the day, it will be end up moving in a sideways balancing action. But unless there is some surprise is going to come, right? So when some surprise is going to come, that is where the market takes a directional opinion. Okay, so far nothing much. Another 1 more minute to go. Is the audio quality is good? Are you able to see? Okay, great. So think about it. Think about the entire picture here. So there is look about the balance and fail, and then high confidence selling so far. And so far, we're waiting for the event announcement. If the event announcement is going to be surprises, then only we can get a trend. Otherwise, it is not. Mostly, we're going to center around 11,990 levels. In such a case, it definitely market somewhere it throws some intraday opportunity, either in the form of a long or intraday shorts. Somewhere it throws up. And another, I guess, people are expecting a rate cut. What's up there? 11:45. Any news happened? Any updates? Is there a rate cut? My screen is not showing anything. Still, everyone is waiting for the results, it seems. Right? Markets are still trading. A little bit of volatility kicks in. That's what we can see from the price. So mostly mid caps, small caps, Nifty, Bank, Nifty, everything is so far trading down. But volatility can come crazily, right? So it's very difficult to say which side the market could move. Nobody can say what the market could move, but after moving us to a certain point, we'll be able to figure out are there any trend exhaustion or any where the opportunity is presented and how the volumes behaved. We'll be able to take it from there. So let me quickly move to order flow. It's kind of a high volatile down followed by a high volatile up. So there was an MPC cut, repo rate cut by 25 basis point to 5.75. That means not much of a serious surprise. So it's a rate cut, and that means a two-way auction process is likely to take place again. Let's see how the two-way auction process happens. Right. So far, it's still trading in a sideways fashion, but volatility is likely to kick in either side. So MPC change policy stands to accommodate. I don't know what that really means. But then what we can understand is that it's going to be a crazy volatility. Nothing much happened so far. Price is still hovering out there. Yeah, I'm sorry. Some minor issues out there in my connectivity. So anyways, I'm back here. or maybe just let me quickly restart. So it was high volatile movement so far. Nothing much happened. So as a trader, what you have to check is, are there any surprise element? The only thing what should not do is that you should not fight with the confidence. So far the confidence is on the down. Usually if it is a low confidence, then we'll wait and we can take an opportunity, but it is so far turning up like an high confidence direction. So in a high confidence market, it is always good to stay in, not to do anything crazy at this point of time. Okay, so it's been not much of a volatility, I would say that. It's still moving in an directional manner. It's high confidence sellers so far. There is no change in information. So if you want to trade against those high confidence sellers, you need to have a very serious odds. Maybe let's look into the order flow. From the order flow perspective, not much. It's a high volatile bar. Think about the volume here. Last two bars, 3,000 lots, 4,800 lots. Volume has been started increasing. But still not much of an activity out there. It's just mostly an sideways activity still. Broader level sideways activity, I would say that. So, but positionally, more and more trading activity happens on the downside. And point of control is more or less building around here. It's almost 5 TPOs out there. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I seeing any weakness? Not much of a weakness on the upper side, but let's see. From an intraday perspective, do I able to get a trade? From the order flow perspective, nothing much yet. Only the volumes are higher. They marginally took the low by just 1 point, and still trading in this band. So far, it is moving in a balanced manner. But price can go crazily to any extreme. Wherever the extreme it's going, it gives some clue about how the odds should shift, either on the upper side or on the downside. So it's been a slow price action so far. Hardly price is moving in a 30-point range. Price one of the candle, this candle. Think about this candle high. It went to 12,000 reference exactly, and then it got a sell-off. Kind of psychological reference. It's been moving in a very slow fashion so far. I guess more or less nothing has been happened from an RBI announcement. More or less, there is no serious surprise so far. Right, so probably they expected a 25 basis point rate cut, and they got it. I switched off my TV, so I'm no more going to watch the channels. So it's more or less no surprise event, I guess. If there is any surprise, any other announcement is going to come, just let me know here in the comment section. CR means contract reversal. Okay. Okay, somebody is saying that it's a poor low. Yeah, it's a poor low, but typically we don't see that poor low or not. Typically, by end of the day, we'll try to confirm whether it is a poor low or a poor high. So that's the standard practice we'll be following. Something like a failed auction, something like a poor lows, poor highs. We don't watch it from an intraday standpoint. Doesn't make much of a sense. At times, it looks like a poor lows and then it got broken out. So that is not a good practice to see that during an live markets. During live markets, seeing in poor lows or poor highs are not at all advisable, because usually it brings more unwanted bias. At times you will be right, but that moments are very, very rare. Most of the times, poor low comes and poor low clears intraday. That's a very natural phenomenon. Okay, so still nothing. It's still balancing out there. How about Bank Nifty? So Bank Nifty also back to the center point, and you can see that every letter is balancing around here. Letter A, B, C, D, E. Every other letter is balancing out there. So maybe Bank Nifty is looking like a kind of a failed breakout. Let's look into the Bank Nifty volume. So Bank Nifty is having an okay. The Bank Nifty volume is not looking good. See that volume 11,033 and 11,033 here. So 11,033 is here. Anyways, let me do a quick re-backfill to understand that the volumes are that way. So 11,033 means that low, we call it as an unsecured low. That kind of lows are hardly sustainable from a day's low perspective. It's an immediate buy, but at the same time, price always have the back to return towards the odds. So it's immediate scalping odds towards the long side. It stops at the day low. We can keep our stops around day low, but usually price move towards a VWAP. But anyways, that trading odds has been already done. Prices came back to VWAP levels, so let's not consider this. That's a quick scalping trade opportunity. And still markets are moving in a slow and steady fashion. Some spiky action is coming in. The back to the center point, you see that the letter F, it's just one tick above the half back. So far, it's an high seller confidence markets, and the point of control is almost got built over here, 11,990 levels. Let me also quickly refresh June series as well. Nifty June. Okay, it's been a high volatile bar here. So the current 12 o'clock candle, right? 1150 can 55 candle is it's almost 25 points up. It's almost up by 25 points. And think about the activity. So far, the activity is trading sideways. It's a high confidence sellers. All incidents and spiky upside activity is happening. Look at the volume here. Last 4 bar volumes. Volumes are being steady now. A little bit bigger volumes happened. Almost 3,000 lots, 4,000 lots, 2,000 lots, and 3,000 lots. So far, not much of a clues. it's just been trading in a bigger fashion. So big down followed by a big up. They are back to the center. And that's the point of control for the day. It's completely got built in Nifty also, in Bank Nifty also. So are there any change in the confidence? No, there is no change in the confidence. It's still high confidence sellers since the open. So when you want to trade against those players, then you need to have a strong evidence to play, right? So you need to have a strong and tight stop loss to play, if at all. One thing you should not do is that you should not go in a when such kind of positional. You cannot take a positional view here, saying that the market will go there or go. Uh, at least you have to wait for the confidence to change. Some change should happen in the markets. Very rarely trading against high confidence sellers will be profitable. So give me a minute. I'll be back in another 5 minutes. Until then, I'll be on mute. So nothing much is happening out there. So mostly, so we can also use this the halfback as one of the reference. So there's a halfback reference out here to keep our emotional balance in check, right? So as long as as long as the price is trading down below the 12,112 reference, it's going to be a positional, intraday weakness. And as long as price is going to trade above that 12,000 plus reference level, it's going to be a strength. So that kind of game one can go and play on. Whether it's a very slow day so far. Still, it's a slow price action movement. Nifty premiums are still big and higher. Always remember one thing: to avoid trading against those high confidence sellers, right? So slow price action so far. And moreover, it's an expiry day as well. It's a Thursday expiry day. And price is again back to the point of control. So where is the point of control is getting developed? It's around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 5 TPO wide and still trading negative. So far, it's an open drive kind of setup for the day. And the point of control is building lower. And you see the anomalies, all the anomalies here, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, almost all the anomalies which are there on last 3rd of June, all those weaker and poor structure activity got repaired back. All these poor structures over here, it got repaired back. Price completely repaired it, right? So if I try to extend this, price completely repaired all those poor structures. So price completely repaired all those poor structures. So far, the sentiment is negative on the downside. And from an intraday standpoint, not much of an odds. So far, only positional odds are going on. One intraday odds came in, especially, but that's in fast markets. When it came when RBI announcement came, that was a quick scalping trade. I would say that, but that was a very quick trade, right? So 11:45, when announcement came, there was a big plunge, and that so far kind of trapped the seller out there, and from there, price took it up almost 100 points. Price took it up. That was a scalping trading odds, but apart from that, not much of an odds which are running in. Still, even though positionally there is a sell is running on, it's an even there are places where an intraday buy can happen, but still one can go and trade those intraday buys, right? So still on positional selling odds. So means that trading longs are good, but you're aware that all those are short opportunities, whichever is presented from the long perspective. It's been still trading around the point of control, both Nifty and Bank Nifty. So Bank Nifty is once again approaching the day low. Nifty as well. Right, so Bank Nifty is very close to the day low. The question is, more weakness could be presented if that low is going to get breached. So I want to keep this reference active. This is a center point, right? So the mid of the day half back balance. We used to monitor the sentiment, right? So to measure the confidence. Price tried to take above this half back reference, it failed, and then it straight away fallen down. Means there is no buyers. Buyers who have taken effort, still there is no serious buyers yet in the markets. So if there is no serious buyer, avoid trying to play in the direction of buying side. So about Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty is very close to the day low. Think about it. I said any breakdown below this low, it could bring some more weakness is possible. Yeah, more weakness is possible here. How about Nifty? Nifty is still not broken the low yet. Right? People are seeing this bar low. Who are seeing this bar low? I always say that watch it only from the end of the day perspective. Otherwise, it puts you an unwanted bias and it makes you to keep a trade. You'll be taking a trade by taking at the day's low. Very rarely it's going to succeed. But think about other scenarios. Other scenarios are still not supporting. If it is supporting behavior, yes, one can think about taking a long with keeping a stop loss around 11,970, and one can take a long there. But other surrounding factors are not supporting here. Right? Other supporting in the sense the confidence is so far not supporting, and the prices started trading down below double distribution balance. Prices started accepting down below the double distribution balance. So that is also not a good signature, especially from an intraday long perspective. Okay, so let's quickly look into the volume, how the Bank Nifty volume happened this time. So last time it made poor, I said that it was a poor reference. Still 472, the low is not good. So my kind of an unsecured low. Still price is trading around the point of control reference for quite some time now. Still, it's relatively calm compared to the other RBI announcement days. Not much of a bigger fluctuation, I would say that. But yeah, reasonable fluctuation is there. But the other RBI policy announcement will bring more fluctuations. And what is missing here is that fluctuations are missing. So that means it's okay to go with the confidence direction. Don't try to fight unless you see an opportunity. Right? Unless you see an opportunity to go long. You need one valid information to go long here, just not blindly to go long. One objective information which says that, hey, here is the place you should take a long out here, or here is a place you have to take a short, intraday short. So that kind of objective information, you have to take it. So another 1 minute, we are going to change from letter F period to G period. Okay, pretty close to the day low, 2 points away from the day low, or hardly 1 point away from the day low. Okay, that's one of the reasons I said that don't look into the poor low perspective. It usually gets into bias, right? So those kinds of references, poor low or poor high, is not an intraday reference point to trade unless there are more odds pointing towards the upper direction. Okay, so the poor low came and then it got broken. So it came in the F period, it got taken out in the F period itself, right? So that helps you to keep away from unwanted bias. So we have specific rules, which are the information we have to watch from an intraday perspective, which are the information which one have to watch from an end of the day perspective or during intraday perspective. So that helps the traders to avoid unwanted bias, especially if you're a new trader out there. That helps you to avoid most of the bias. Now again, you can see that FNG looking like a poor low. Is it a poor low? I have no idea about it. But do I watch this and say like, hey, this is the support, market is going to take the support? No, probably I'll be taking assistance from order flow. I'll be looking into the order flow and not much of a strength yet. Volumes are good. The volume flow started moving good. You see that prior to that, it is less than 1,500 lots. Even most of the candles are less than 1,000 lots. But now, think about now something different is happening out there. What is different happening in today's section is that the volume flow started getting good. That means we are not only dealing with speculators. Previously, before the event, we deal with more and more of speculators. But now, apart from speculators, some other bigger money is being presented. Their presence is continuously visible on each and every candle. So if at all any long, one should be keeping a stops around that 11,965, right? So it's kind of a trapped buyer out there. So if at all any stops, one should be keeping. It's an intraday scalping trade. You make some quick bucks, one should be out of the game. Right? That's a kind of a game one can play by taking a stops below 11,965. You're out, you should be out of the game. Kind of a 5-point stops, or maybe a 6-point stops if you keep around 11,964. Around 11,964. If you're wrong because you know that we're trading against the bigger time frame. You know, one tick down, you should be out of the game here. That's a kind of a game one should play, especially if you are seeing an trapped buyer or a big buyer activity is coming at the day low. That's hardly a 5-point stop. It's out. So it means you should be out of the game by now. One should be out of the game by now. It's 5-point stop. It means it's out of the game now. We don't know what could happen after that. At the same time, you should be aware that we are continuously competing with bigger time frame players. No fighting here, especially against the high sentiment. If you want to fight, you have to be a scalper. You should be quickly getting in, getting out of the markets. You're wrong, you're out of the markets. Now, what's the Bank Nifty is trying to do? So Bank Nifty started moving down, 31,100. Strong signature, you see that its price is continuously going down. So don't try to fight with these kind of markets. Yeah, that was an intraday odd came, but then it hit a stop loss. It's a 5-point loss. One should be moving away from the a game, right? Rather than thinking about blinking and trying to think, let the market do something, let the market come into my favor. No, that kind of business. Think about the rejection here. This is the rejection point where they completely slide it down. Almost 50 points down from there. So far an high confidence seller, and moreover, when the price is, think about here, a lot of single prints are here. So price could travel faster in those single prints. So here, think about this place, price could travel faster in those single prints. A lot of single prints out here in this band. The A period single prints, and we are in the middle of the day. So means you should not be fighting the markets still. We try to fight once and we're out of the game. So maybe that means more stops might be sitting in this band, more buyer stops might be sitting in this band. How was the volume flow? Just quickly, let's look into the volume flow as well. So volume flow is more or less still bigger, almost 4,000 lots, 4,000 plots. The fill is good, right? So far the fill is good. And still it's going down. So the key thing is don't fight the trend always. Especially when that positional odds are there. Not much of an intraday nuances or intraday weakness yet. So about what Bank Nifty is doing. So Bank Nifty at the day low. So I think so far 100 points down from the morning open, right? Morning opened around 12,050 levels, 50 odd levels, and from there almost 100 points down. So part of the game, you should be able to evaluate, is this the right place to take a long or not? Or is this the right place to initiate short or not? Or is it, and what kind of opportunity it is seen? What kind of opportunity you are seeing, why you are seeing it? You need to have some valid reason to take a trade there. Okay. Without that reason, just don't blindly go and attempt. You need to have some objective decision why you should be taking it, and what is the reason you are taking it, and why, maybe why I had taken a positional short, or why, what is the reason for that, right? So without having that, don't blindly come and initiate a trade because your indicator said that it's indicator is going long or indicator is going short. Don't blindly initiate shorts. Try to have some valid rule, and try to know how to defend the game, or if something is going wrong against you, how to manage the game, or probably where to keep a stop loss. That kind of game you need to practice it. That's not easy. That comes by experience. So letter F and G movements are high volatile, but think about that point of control is still staying here. And the point of price is completely down below value area low, right? That means emotional sellers might be coming and pushing it down. Very close to that A period single print still. Price usually travels faster when there is a single print out there. It usually tend to travel faster. Let's see how it goes. It's been a slow price action so far. From the Bank Nifty perspective, not much. Price is still hovering around there. Looking at the Bank Nifty profile. So anything down below here, right? It's gonna be crazy, right? So avoid here. These are the references one have to watch out. Anything down below 31,150, we don't know where the price could stop because a lot of single prints out there. And immediate reference to watch out is that the 2-day low. The 2-day low. Price is trading very close to that. Price is trading very close to the 2-day low. So if at all 2-day low is breaking and Bank Nifty is breaking the 31,200 reference level, that means more weakness might come. Anything down below 31,150, there is no friction on the downside. The friction it goes still deeper till 30,500, right? So and see that single print has been left over here. If the weakness has to stay, the single prints has to hold. The single prints in Bank Nifty, it has to hold up. So let me put a zone over here saying that there are a lot of single prints here and price sold off from that level. If any weakness, the single prints has to stay. Price should not retrace back above that levels. Okay, and comes to Nifty, still nothing much. The interaction of the volume is good. High volatile bars. We are dealing with high volatile bars, right? And acceleration speed is really good on the downside so far. So Bank Nifty perspective also, it is a high confidence selling. And moreover, the weaker structure here, 1, 2, 3, 4, that some weakness was there, not much. I would say that's only 2 anomalies we are able to spot. But the price completely came down above this double distribution reference. So one of the positional reference. So anything breaking down this reference itself and positional selling. So positional selling odds, it continues in Nifty and Bank Nifty so far. Okay. So Bank Nifty another 40 points from here, they might be testing the 2-day low. And holding the single print zone is seller strength. It's a signature of seller strength, right? Think about it. Of course, pretty close to the day low. Another 20 points from here. They'll be tagging the 2-day low. That's the 3rd June low. Almost very close to that 2-day low, by the way. And almost another 7 points from here, we'll be tagging the 2-day low. Almost tagged. Yeah, almost tagged, right? So it's tagged and even broken the 2-day low as well. So now the next reference is the major reference is the single print zone, start of the single print zone, which is a little bit far away, another 90 points down from here. I'm not sure whether it will be broken or not, but if at all it is going to broken, that is a sign of a more weakness. That I'm not sure whether it will broke or not, but if the price is coming and breaking, price entering into the single print zones, the single print zones are steeper, right? So it's a steep crash which happened on 31st May. And probably that is one can expect a fill off if at all the price is going to enter into the single print zones. That's a one reference one have to monitor. And so my monitoring confidence level, it shifts over here. It shifts from Friday low to here. So I'm going to monitor this for some time. More and more weakness is going to show down below. That is also a signature of weakness, right? So price breaking the 2-day low, staying down below the 2-day low, it's a signature of a weakness. So let's quickly get into how the trading looks like. What one have to check is that are there going to be any failed breakout failures, right? So when the 2-day low has been broken down, are there going to be any breakout failures? Maybe price could again rotate back towards the point of control. Is this what going to happen? One have to check clearly over here at this point of time. Or let's say the price is breaking down further, it is one more signature of weakness, right? So I already told when the price broken the C period low, I mean the E period low, yellow color bar, which is nothing but the E period low. When it's going to break, it's going to bring some more weakness. Right. Similarly, some more weakness might come if this low is going to broke one more time. As long as it is not breaking, it is a sign of a strength. If it is going to break one more time, that's a sign of a serious weakness. So how about Nifty? Nifty is still trading this band. So let me put a band over here saying that this is a band, the price has to travel faster on the downside. But let's quickly look into the order flow. So what the order flow has been. So order flow has been not much of a reference. Still weakness is persisting. As long as price is trading down below this zone, price could completely fill the zone. That means price could come and tag 2-day low again, like how Bank Nifty tagged. Similarly, Nifty also come and tag those levels. So that means around 11,910 odds. And how about Bank Nifty? Side by side, let's check Bank Nifty as well. See that price came pretty close to that level. Has it broken? Not yet. It came exactly to that level. Still not broken. Breaking means it's one more weaker sign. And Nifty also trying to create a lot of single prints, right? So maybe this bar is quite crucial because it's going to create a lot of single prints. Then that is also a sign of more weakness. See the single prints over here. Already Bank Nifty had created, but Nifty, if it is going to go down from here, that brings more weakness because single prints creates more and more weakness, especially from the intraday standpoint. When the confidence is running deeper and Nifty is creating more single print zones, so those are the signatures of weakness, right? So we'll be monitoring this reference as well. So I'll be let me put one more band at this zone that single prints are getting created and the price is approaching day low. That is a weaker markets. So I'll be putting a band saying here Okay, let me put in a different band color. Okay, so Bank Nifty as well should have been breached that low. So means more weakness, and so anything down below 31,150, the weakness is going to gear up. More and more weakness is going to gear up. You see that's still my monitoring point. It came to the 2-day low. When it comes to Bank Nifty, again more single print zones are there. Emotional selling is happening. How is Nifty? Is Nifty going for a complete fill? So it's a clear weakness in Nifty and Bank Nifty. So if you want to trade longs, you need to have more odds towards trading longs. And from the order flow perspective, look at the lows here, 899, 857. So that could bring some immediate upside swing, but mostly they'll be taken down. So it's not a good low, I would say that. Anyways, let me try to reload, check once, because that's not a good low at all, as per me. That's how market will not bottom out for the day. Usually it's an immediate scalping long odds, but usually market goes some 10 points or 11 points up from there, and usually they come back to the same lows. So 899, almost 900 is the level it got traded. And how about Bank Nifty order flow? Not much of a reference. It's a high volatile bar on the downside. So what are the level we are watching in case of an in case of, so 31,170 is the level which you are watching. It's hardly 70 points down from there. Anything below that, market could go crazy, because more the single prints, more the odds that the entire single prints can get a clear. Still hovering around 2-day low. But think about it, a lot of single prints created in Nifty as well as in Bank Nifty. Okay, that has to be in your mind. And so far, confidence of sellers are good. So far, they have pushed the price decently down on the downside from a positional perspective and from an intraday perspective. So let me put a reference at 2-day low as well, just to have an understanding that price is touching this 2-day low or not. Any stops from the longs should be around the 2-day low. Two-day low. Okay. In hardly another, we have another 1 more minute. We will be changing the period. Just give me a second. Let me find my charger. Should be somewhere out here. Yeah, I got my charger out here. Bit of a bounce, both Nifty and Bank Nifty. Still, Bank Nifty is hovering around 2-day low. Going back to these levels, back again. How about Bank Nifty? Still trading down below 2-day low. It's going above 2-day low, coming back down below 2-day low. Continuous flip-flop around that levels. So what is the confidence at this point of time? Still the confidence is strong. The seller confidence is strong. So my update will be observation here. And it's still enough, and the vein of confidence remains strong. Right, so and BNF reference shifts down to 2-day low. That's the place we're going to monitor the reference. And NF is trading around 3rd June single prints. 3rd June, A period single print zone. Okay. And when it comes to Bank Nifty, if Bank Nifty, if BNF is going to trade down below 31,150 levels, it brings more downside weakness. Okay, from intraday standpoint as well as from a positional standpoint as well. That's a reference we have to watch out. I'm not saying that the 11,150 will break. Right? If it is breaking, that brings more weakness. So the green color letter is nothing but letter H. How about a Nifty? So this single print is getting a little bit smaller now. If at all any strength, the seller should maintain the single prints. So reading the market profile and order flow is kind of a continuous reading, right? So most of the decisions are taken live. Post market, we can take a view, but whether the view is getting played out or not, only live market reading matters more than the post market analysis or pre-market. Pre-market, you can come and understand what are the reference level you should watch, why you should watch, and what are the odds that market could go down, or what are the odds that market could go up. So that is what we will be doing it. And live market is where the most of the decision will be taken up. And I guess the upcoming program on TradeZilla will be focusing more on from all the aspects, right? From starting from the pre-market analysis, right from post-market analysis, right from live market analysis. We'll be presenting on from all the aspect how a trader should see the markets and how they should learn to see the markets in a objective manner. Right, and I guess the offer code is down here, 10% offer code. Maybe I'll also give the link over here. So the link, you can also go and see the agenda over here. The agenda, it's suitable. We'll be starting right from the scratch, and the agenda covers right from the basic players to advanced level players, every kind of players. Right, so the entire schedule is listed out there. If you're interested, you can go back and you can watch those things. So what we'll be covering in market profile basics, what we'll be covering in market profile intermediate levels, and what we'll be covering in the market profile advanced level. So it has been categorized into 3 parts: basic, intermediate, and advanced. And especially some people are very new to Ninja Trader, so we will be covering to some certain extent. We'll be covering the basics of how to use or how to handle Ninja Trader 8 as well. And order flow strategies, again, we classified into basic and advanced into 2 categories. Closely, we'll be talking about 15 plus objective intraday trading strategies from order flow and 30 plus intraday strategies only from market profile alone. Right? So the core idea to teach these many strategies is to go and handle any kind of market. Every other day, market will be doing some strategy, and if you know that that particular strategy is getting developed, and you can go and approach the day. Mostly suits for full-time traders, right? Full-time traders and active traders who are continuously engaging in the markets, right? And yeah, and there is a support team number out there. So these numbers you can note it down: 9535133445. My team members Vani Ashuti will be there, or Mr. Kalai Chelvan 996547171. Right. So these 2 numbers. You can use it to, if you have any inquiries, you can go back and check with them for more further inquiries. Okay, so now let's have a quick final look before closing the session. Nothing much so far. The single prints is getting slower and lower. It's a small single print out there, but still that single print stays. And when it comes to Bank Nifty, it's been a slow uptrend. Not much of a change yet. Still hovering around back and forth around that 2-day low, I guess. Right. So it went above, came down, came up, come down. So that kind of sideways activity it is making. And there is already one more single print zone over here. Those are signatures of positional weakness. If it's going to hold, it's going to hold with a positional weakness. Just hovering around 2-day low much. And I also said that this is a reference as a trader one have to watch out. Price started trading down below this and started accepting down below 150. It's going to be a serious signature. Until otherwise, I'm not seeing any serious drops coming into the markets. And anyways, it's more of an Thursday expiry. So very rarely a Thursday expiry will be on a blockbuster day. Or if you want to go short, if you want to maintain short, you have to see price started accepting down below this reference. Let's look into the flow. So there has been 2 long setups. So no matter what the long setups are, the stops are at the lows around 11,935. So most likely they'll be bringing some short-term longs, maybe max to max towards 11,980 kind of levels. But always the stops here, the stops is having around 11,947, and this stops is one of the stops which happens around 11,937. There is one more stop which comes around 11,935. And so, do I see positional weakness? Still, I'm seeing positional weakness, not from an intraday perspective, right? From an intraday perspective, yeah, market might go sideways. But from a positional perspective, I'm seeing a lot of weakness out there. And especially if the day low is going to be broken, I'm seeing more weakness again. This low, if it's going to broke, I'm seeing more weakness on the downside. Okay. And already Bank Nifty is holding, if this zone, the 31,380 or 360, if it's going to hold for the day, it is going to bring more positional weakness than the positional strength. So thanks for coming and attending the session. So let's, if I have any questions, I can take a couple of questions. Otherwise, we are mostly done for the day. Yeah, the session is already getting recorded, so everyone will be receiving the recorded videos. It will be posted to the YouTube, and it will be available around today evening 7 o'clock. By the time it will be available mostly. Can this program provide an edge for option writers? Yes, definitely. It provides an understanding. First of all, it provides an understanding about the markets, how to see the markets, how to take a view in the markets. And if something is going wrong, how to adjust your positions in the markets, right? So it suits for option buyers also, option writers also. It's not specifically for option buyers, or it is not specifically for option writers. It is for the both. How to take a view using market profile, and probably if you're a scalper out there, how to time it using order flow, right? So that's what. Or if something is going wrong, where to keep a stop loss, and how tighter one should keep a tight stop loss. So that's the kind of an thing we'll be focusing on. So who is taking down the NF and BNF? I would say that most likely long players has been onboarded. So sometime back there was a move against long players. It's most likely longs are unwinding. That's what I'm seeing here. I'm not seeing any serious downside money which is coming in. Mostly the people who already onboarded the longs are the one who started focusing on 12,500, 13,000 kind of levels. So those kinds of the players are the one they're getting out. Do you think weakness starts there? I think weakness is already presented right from Friday onwards. It's seen weakness right from Friday onwards. I use MP exclusively for option writing. It adds more value. Okay, Pratish is again one of the student of TradeZilla, and he does option writing also. He does option buying also, if I'm not wrong. And he's seeing the results so far. Do you trade yourself? Okay, yeah, I do trade, and not necessarily I have to show my trades in every setup. I do have positions, but I don't post my screenshot elsewhere. I don't. I very rarely share my trades. I don't share my trades all the time. My objective is here to teach, not to showcase my trades, to show that how big I am, or how faster I'm taking trades. There is no showcase here. Is there any online resources to go through for order flow charts? Very good question. We done an online webinar sometime back on the basics of order flow. It's available there in YouTube. Probably you can go to go to www.youtube.com/user/marketcalls. Right. So there you'll be able to see the resources on order flow. We done some basic sessions. We done some live sessions, and most of the live sessions on order flow analysis are out there. Get a reference of TradeZilla student to communicate and get their experience. If you don't mind, I don't mind. You can connect with my support team. They will give you the references. So my customer support team number is 95351334445. So you can check with them. They might be giving references. Okay, I guess let's have a quick one final round, and then we'll look it down. So nothing much happened. Price is still trading around the 2-day low when it comes to Bank Nifty. And from the order flow perspective, nothing much. It's still so far sideways price action. And one of the reference level to watch out is the 31,150. From there onwards, that's a dangerous signature. As long as price is not breaching that reference, it's a good sign. And there was a single print zone, but that single print zone got a clear. So nothing much out there. Okay, so only if the day low is going to break, then I'm seeing weakness. Otherwise, I'm not seeing any weakness at all for the day, remainder of the day. Okay, so with this, I'm closing the session for the day. And thanks for coming and attending. And thanks for listening to me patiently. Thank you once again. And see you next time with more interesting webinars in the future. Thank you.